Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So today, what can I say? It's like my craft room has exploded. Now I've been away a week and I got back yesterday, and last night our prompt was revealed for our Roxy Journal of Stitchery, and it is something found. If I could find something in this room, I'd be pretty impressed with myself. And the other thing is, my task today is to pack some more things from our house to send with us next week up to the property at Ballarat. So I said to my husband, I'm going to do my craft room. I'm going to peel out of here things that I will not use in the next, say, 3 months. Gee, that's a bit tricky, but we're going to give it a go. And in the process, I might find something for my honey bear, where is it? My honey bear dress. And also I've got sitting here the journal of treasures as well. So I thought, what a perfect prompt to work on. So I've got a heap of boxes just outside the room, just outside that door is a heap of boxes and some towels, because I've got a bit of glass too that I need to pack up. So I've got lots of towels sitting here, boxes. Oh my goodness, I feel it's chaos, absolute chaos. But I'm going to start pinching things like, see that milk glass sitting there on the end of that cabinet? I'm going to start boxing up. There's going to be found things. My dining table has got a bit of milk glass on it, which I collect. So I'm going to pinch a few pieces out of those. So very much what is found in this room could potentially help me with the next prompt. See, even my printer's already gone up to the other house. Oh my goodness, I could probably send all the crocheting up. So that's what I'm going to be working on. I'm going to start going through all of these boxes. Some of them are empty. They're just, you know, storage used once and hasn't been used again. I know that lace from that lady, there goes Bayonet and Pepper, Elna's lace. Remember I picked up some treasures of lace at the forage retreat that belonged to a lady, and mainly sewing where the retreat was held. I'm trying to open it with one hand. Had absorbed it all into their little shop and was selling it on behalf of the family. So there's all sorts of treasures in there. I'm really considering working it into this book. There's only 3 prompts left and I have plenty of space. Let me just open it. My dodgy filming today. Here comes Fudge now. He's going to join the party. It's very sample-ish, and I didn't do anything the last prompt. I've still got some pages. I'm thinking of adding that. I did. Why is everyone like woofing and meowing the moment I turn the camera on? I mentioned when I showed you all of this lace that, I'm just grabbing another tin, we would probably do a lace journal with all of her treasures. Well, I think I'm going to put it into this treasure book. I think it's just perfect. It's found. I found it at the retreat. It's very much in the theme of treasure hunt, and I have space in the journal, and with only a couple prompts to go, I think I'd like to, you know, use it. See, there's still space in that spine. So at the moment, that's a possibility. So that video will probably pop up in the next week, I'd say. As for Honey Bear, I'd love to find some yo-yos in this room. The only thing is, most of the yo-yos I have are 1950s and those sorts of colours, like brights. So I don't think I'll find anything, you know, soft. Now I can hear my phone ringing, for goodness sakes. All right, I'm going to pause the video and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Where was I? All right, I was talking about the lace. I'm really liking the idea of using all of these treasures into my treasure book. I think it sort of suits, and I love this old book cover that I got from Rachel, and I just think that this old lace from this lady's collection that's needs to find a home in it. So that's going to be connected and sorted. Now, as for Honey Bear, like I said, I'm thinking along the lines of some yo-yos, if I can find some. I just have a feeling my yo-yos, like I can't even remember where they are here, are really bright colours. So I guess worst case scenario, I could make some, but we'd need to make them look really old. So it might be a bit of ironing, washing of some fabrics before I actually construct them, but we'll think about that. Who knows? I really want to get this white cabinet out of here and up to the house. That's been poked in there from for a while just for storage, and it actually belongs to a setting up at the house. So that piece has to come out and all of that needs to find a new home. So what I will do is start packing, peeling out things that I know I won't need from that mess, and get myself, let me just spin around, get myself tidied up. Like, see, I bought one of the hoops. Remember I was saying that I wanted a floor hoop? I found one. Jennifer Clouston gave me a tip on the brand, and I haven't even had a chance to get it out and have a play with. So I want to send that up to the house and set it up so I can just do some, you know, 15 minutes of stitching. So yeah, what else did I have to? Look, there'll be treasures in there. I really like Juju's idea. If you haven't watched Sarah's video yet, Juju has added some keys to her piece, and I thought if Honey Bear was going to collect anything, there she is sitting over there. If Honey Bear was going to collect anything, keys. So in here are charms and keys from pieces of jewelry. So what I might do is have a bit of a tidy up of that and see what treasures are in there. So this prompt for me is actually perfect because I can now go through this mess, see what treasures we find for young Honey Bear, add them to her dress, and in the process start boxing up this room. So that's what I'm up to. Oh, the mannequin. Everyone's been asking me about the mannequin. The mannequin really hasn't gone too far. I've got lots of pieces stitched on it now, and pretty much that's as far as it's got. It's missed a few prompts, but some of the prompts were sort of on there anyway, so I'm not too concerned. Excuse me, just clearing myself. So yeah, mannequin, I think, is just going to be one of those, just add something someday. You know, it's just a great space to add bits and pieces. So like treasures that have been gifted. Yeah, I think that's how the mannequin's going to go, but soon it has to go up to the other room. So I'm a bit of in transition, if that makes sense. And then I find fabrics and I just haven't found a home for them. I'm like, no, in a box, straight up to the next craft room. So a bit of a mess, but this prompt is going to work out really well. I'm still filming ahead for my season of stitchery project. This is summer coming along, and I've started building a bit of a palette of colours for my summer piece. So that's what that's about, and I'm thinking I can send that up to Ballarat, and then when I'm up there I can be stitching the summer piece. The project up at the other craft room that I'm working on is my Nikki Franklin. I've stitched 2 or 3 of the little stitcheries now, so I'm starting to put that journal together. So I've got plenty of projects up at one house. So when I get there, I film, stitch and do those. And when I get back to Brisbane, I film, stitch and work on a few projects down here. I think you've kicked off watching, I'm filming this Thursday, and I think Thursday's video is this project, which is Jennifer Clouston's little stitchery bag, the caddy, the sewing caddy is what I'm trying to say. So if you haven't seen that video yet, go and check it out. So that's the finished product. That's the pattern. You can grab that directly from Jennifer. There is a link in the video to email her for the pattern. So it come up beautifully. I'm giving you a sneak peek of the project now. I think today you're watching just you know, getting started. Excuse me. I don't take you through the whole step by step because it's, you know, a pattern that Jennifer has. I just give you a few little updates over the next few weeks. Now, what else have I got going? My snippet project is sitting here. I can do a bit of work on that now that I'm back in Brisbane. And also, we're up to doing hexies. Now, I've finished filming the hexagon piece for the vintage sewing techniques. So I won't flip it open yet. It's directly behind this page. So not hexies, cathedral windows. Oh, goodness sakes. This room, there's so many projects going on here. It's like, wow, where do I start? But cathedral windows, little pig, done. That's all you're getting. And then it's stump work. So that's another thing I could potentially film over the next few days. So I'm here. Look, I found a bird's nest. We had so much wind and it was just lying in the garden. No sign of anyone. And the fur in there is banded. I often see the birds picking up banded's fur. So I've sprayed it in case there were anything alive in there, and I've nabbed it. So yeah, sorry birdie, you'd have to build another nest, which I wouldn't know where to stick it anyway, let alone putting it back into the tree. Who knows where it come from? We've had so much wind that it's just sailed through the air and landed on the ground. So I got an idea for a project using a bird's nest. But anyway, that's another day. Okay, treasures. Shouldn't be too hard to find something in here and actually achieve something useful in the way of packing this place up and going to the next place. So what I'll tack on next after this little video is actually a tour of my room in Ballarat. So before I left yesterday, I grabbed the camera and just walked through the space to give you a bit of an idea. And I even take you outside to the backyard and show you some of the construction that's happening there. So it's pretty full on. There's so much going on. My goodness, we dug a trench in from the front of the house to the garage door where the power board is, and we run some electrical cable. But in the process, the digger that we got in to do it, we severed the pipe taking the sewer water, the treated water, to this reservoir that's underground to sort of disperse it. It's like fresh water after it's gone through a treatment process. And we've severed the little purple pipe. I took a couple of photos so you can see in this video the trench that we dug and also the purple pipe that we split and severed. So such a shame, but anyway, plumbers out there today to repair the damage. So one step forward, one step back. You know the routine when you don't know where pipes are and the maps the builder give you just don't seem to match what they actually did. So that's been a challenge. But in the next little video that I'll tack on straight after this is the craft room at Ballarat, showing you the new space and pretty much what I've been up to and my new stitching positions and where I sit and enjoy my new stitching. And as I said, I'm going to be floating between the two spaces for about 3 months. So I sort of need projects here, and so that I can keep up with all of the filming and sort of stay in front of all you guys. So yeah, all right, I'm going to look for some treasures for Honey Bear. I think I've nutted that out. Not sure when this video will come in. It'll probably be the end of next week. But Honey Bear, I'll be back in this video to see what I've found, and you'll be watching that Saturday morning for you. I'm sure there'd be something in here. Definitely keys, charms in there, and I'm sure there's some yo-yos. I think they are in here. Not as many as I thought. I know I've got more, but it's the colours. I know I've got a parcel coming in the mail from a friend down in Melbourne that I was on the tour with, the textile tour. I think these colours aren't really right. That one might be. Let's have a look. See, they're not. That's going to be a challenge. I do have some I made years ago. Look, what are these? They could work. Are they all different? Those real old ones definitely won't work. I had a feeling they were too bright. Oh, hello. They'll work. I just might iron them. They look too fresh. So there's 4, 5. Even that little one might work. Let's go back to the... See, I've got sidetracked, guys. 1, 2, there's 3, 4. Oh, there's a few. Yeah, I can't remember what I used these for. They were made for something and I had excess. Christmas, I think. Were they used on the Christmas? I seriously don't need all of them. I wonder if that one would work. Let's have a look. You guys are getting a tour now, aren't you? Filming on the go. That one would work. Where's the camera? That one there would fit in. There's a couple of those. That one would work. And even that one. Okay. All right. Well, that was easy. I'll keep hunting for treasures as we go. I've got a container. Hang on. Let's go over here. I've got a little container here. So as I pack, I will... Is that all of them? I'll pop my goodies in here. Potentials for Honey Bear's dress. The lace will work. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, and also I meant to mention, Susanna has announced her new project for next year, which is going to be a calendar. And she sent me a copy of all of the patterns or the inspiration you can use to create your calendar. So each month she will be stitching something. There's rabbits in there. Oh, there's all sorts. This is an ocean scene. So you're really going to get to drift across many genres. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm not sure what version I'll do, or I'll pick pieces out and put some into some fabric journals where I've got spare pages, or I'll make an actual calendar. I just don't know. I haven't thought that far. I can't think that far. She also sent me some lovely little scraps. There's my bird. He belongs over there. There's my Barney. Look at him. So if anyone out there was chasing the templates, I believe she has some left. And I think, gee, I hope I get this right, she's popped in a bunny with it, I think, from this beautiful fabric that she had. She's also done up kits and things. So go check it out. If you haven't looked at her site for a little while, go see what she's up to. She's been a busy little possum putting together all sorts of goodies for next year. But, all right, that's it for me. I'm going to pause the video. I'll now add in a video of the craft room in Burrum, where I'm heading with all this over the next few months. And then I'll settle down and actually we'll have a play with Honey Bear's dress, and we'll see what else I find as I spend the day, you know, rummaging through this room, trying to thin it out a little. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I'll say goodbye for a second, and you will now be in Burrum in the next video. Okay, bye. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. A quick tour of the future craft room. So far, not a lot happening. I've brought up some boxes from my old craft room, but nothing of real excitement yet, like modern things that I'm working with. That is full of wool. So for anyone who visits and can crochet, we've got to do some crocheting to clear that full of wool cupboard and get those blankets over to charities. So that's the task for all visitors when they arrive. So I've got my lights set up, my big table will go here, the wall behind me, I've got a shelving unit to go there, and I've got the cupboards along here with mirrors. So, and then over here some more cupboards underneath a wet area. It's so cool having a sink. My view, there's just piles of dirt everywhere. They're in the process of digging out the retaining wall, so all of this dirt along the side here is sort of the back perimeter of the block. That was left from the builder, which we'll disperse, but I'll show you that more in a minute. So over in this corner, that little nook is where my sewing machine will sit. So let's go through the TV room. Oh, let me just back up a bit. The kitchen's through that door into that area. Yet to get a lounge in and my dining table, but the kitchen's fully functioning. Into the TV room. Been working on my Nikki Franklin project. That's the one I brought up with me. So a stitch of a morning and stitch of an evening, Nikki Franklin. And look, I've finally got an orts jar. All of the threads left from the Nikki projects. So yeah, got myself an orts jar finally. I've just put the blinds down in here because out the back is just all dirt, so we just don't want to really look at it. So this is the family room. This is where I sit of a morning, do a lot of stitching. My coffee's there ready to go. Listen to my YouTube mates. Dining table. Now you can see through the windows the side perimeter. Look at that. Wouldn't that be fun to get on top of and use? Is the lake. So it would have been nice to have a better view, but one day. So let me just come outside. Just bear with me as we take you on a road trip. So the plan is, from this door will be a big patio area with a roof, and then my husband's shed will go in the back here. He'll have his beloved pinball machines and a TV, and then there'll be a garage door over this side so we can come down the side of the block and park a car or a boat if we get a boat one day. Probably not. I'd rather buy fabric. But anyway, so that's my lake view. The national park is starting on the edge of the lake and runs along the perimeter. So everything to the south of us is National Park, and Hervey Bay is in the distance. There's a lot of smoke around at the moment because to the north of us is Bundaberg, and just below Bundaberg near the Bruce Highway is a lot of fires. So this morning it's really smoky. I'm just going to step out. I don't know if the sun will jig us up here. So the side boundaries and this lake, if I can get close enough, I get to the edge. So I'm on the side of our property now. So there's an estuary over there, where my finger is there, that feeds this saltwater lake through that area through there. The ocean's just on the other side of those trees. So in comes the salt water every tide. So if I get a little bit closer to the edge here. So there is the corner of the lake. There's some houses around that edge, and then it just opens up to the national park. So I don't know if you can see in the distance, there's a 2-story house over there. That was our original house. So when this development kicked off again on the opposite side of the lake, that's when we decided to sell that one and buy a block over here that was bigger, well, similar size but longer, and do a low set house. So now we're in the process of doing this retainer wall I've been talking about. So it'll go in here. The boys dug it out so that footings can go in next week, and it goes right around in a big U to the other side of the house, and my craft room's on that other side. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. What else can I show you? I won't go any further because this is mucky out here. We dug a hole from the front of the house to the front yard to take power out there. That was a lot of fun. I'll tell you about that another time in another video. I'm just heading back inside. Dirty feet. Should have put shoes on but didn't. It's really sandy, so mind you, the stuff they're digging out there is not so sandy, but predominantly sandy. So yeah, there you go. That's my new digs. Look, I've got my Marie Antoinette cushions out. I've had them since Paris when we went to Versailles. I bought these 2 cushions. You would have seen them on a video. And I just love them. And Susanna, my bunny is out. So yeah, okay. That's my world slowly coming together. So of a morning, that's where I'm going to be sitting and stitching. In the evenings, I'll be in the TV room, sitting and stitching. And when I'm filming, I'll be sitting against that grey wall, sitting and stitching. You guessed it. All right, guys, I'll leave it at that, and I'll do a video in a couple of months' time once I get everything moved in and set up. Okay, bye. Hello, everyone. I'm back. I did good. Well, at least started. Got quite a few boxes packed, and I've thinned out this side of the room. So I managed to get my white little buffet out, so that can go now. But yeah, I just left the essentials. I really don't know what I need them for, but I thought I'd better leave a little bit of everything. But I think I've done pretty well on this side of the room. I've got a few projects sitting here now, just if I need them, you know, they're here. I found this in my destashing. It's an unfinished tablecloth. It's very stained and old looking, well, old stains, but I just love the colours. And when I saw it, it reminded me of a piece in Fleur Wood's book. That is her grandmother's tablecloth. And it's sort of part of her inspiration for her whole world. I'll see if I can find quickly a picture. And I really, really loved what her grandmother did on that piece. And it sort of has set flat. There it is there. See that there? It's just beautiful. And it's her prized treasure. So when I saw this, I thought, wow, that's got potential of doing a Fleur Woods inspired embroidery, but just sort of, she describes it as ethereal, just floating around the space, just exploring forms and shapes and things like that. So lots of space between it, but just doing some intense stitching and then moving on to somewhere else. So you guessed it, this will be another project one day. So I've pulled it out and I've just sat it on the book as a potential one day play. But as for packing, well, I got a little bit done over here. I got that thinned out a bit. Didn't even get near that, but I did tidy my beads, and my stacks of treasured fabrics has reduced by half. So I've still got, you know, enough to play with, but I have reduced it. So let me just spin around here and see if I can see. There's a Fleur Woods piece hanging up here that I did. I might put the camera down and see if I can grab it, because actually I've got some things for Honey Bear. So that's, oh, here comes Fudgy. That's where we'll begin. So I'll just stop it for a second. I'll get that Fleur Woods piece that I have completed, not the big one, the one prior, and I'll show you sort of my idea. All right, guys, back in a sec. Okay, I'm back. I'm seated now settled into my position to have a play. This is the piece I did at the beginning of the Fleur Woods course, where she encouraged us to draw, sketch an ethereal-like image of something botanical. And I loved it. I found it quite freeing. So she also talked us through dyeing of fabrics, which I'd never really done before, and her techniques were quite efficient in the way you use your dye, and just gave me confidence that I was not going to destroy my laundry, which is sort of what's put me off even going down the whole rabbit hole of dyeing fabrics. So I really enjoyed that section of the online course. So probably more so than the big piece I'm doing. The big piece is very intense and very full of stitches, and you know, it's sort of, I sort of feel like it's what I've been doing in the Stitch the Seasons anyway. This was more of a stretch for me, a bit more new. So, and that piece of her grandmother's is just beautiful. So I'm thinking along the lines of just doing random botanical sketches, maybe adding some colour with some Inktense pencils or inks or natural dyes, who knows, and just sort of wandering around that circular tablecloth. And the fact that it's circular, it's not going to make me want to do a baseline. I can just sort of drift with whatever. And then you can see the influence here of Jennifer's stitches from all of her books. So yeah, I just sort of feel like there's potential there for me to grow in a new direction, to explore, so to speak. So anyway, stop yibby yabbering. Honey Bear. Now Honey Bear did well, actually. You saw these yesterday, the little yo-yos. Not yesterday. For me, it was yesterday. For you, it was like 3-4 seconds ago. So I've got yo-yos. These are some of the things I found. And I'm heavily inspired by Judy's piece. Now, if you haven't seen Sarah's video for the week, the one she did through the week, she showed Judy's, her mother's piece. And there are a couple of things that stood out to me, and I thought that is classic Honey Bear. That has potential. And it was little treasures gathered, of course, the whole premise of the thing, but it's something in the way they were presented. So in the process of hunting out these yo-yos, and there's definitely some there that work, this arrived in the mail. I mentioned that I had a piece coming from a lady that I toured Paris with. She was in our textile tour. Hello, Roz. Beautiful, beautiful lady. She's incredible, incredible stamina. Now, she lives down with Susanna down in that region, and Susanna went and did a lunch date with her about 2 weeks ago, and Roz kindly shared some of her yo-yo quilt. Now, this is an old one with Susanna, and she sent a piece up for me too. And I was just looking, see how they've got these little flowers coming off of it? I've never seen this. It's so beautiful. So my thought is taking one of these and adding them to Honey Bear's dress. Now, I think it works quite well, and I'm pretty sure I could find somewhere to place it. A yo-yo flower. See what I mean? Just gorgeous. So there's a yo-yo flower going in. So let's trim that little baby off. And then we'll move on to the next thing. Honey Bear's going to get a few things added to a dress out of this. The whole cleaning up my room, packing up the room, has made me look in all sorts of little boxes and treasures. I couldn't believe the prompt when I heard it, and I'm thinking, well, as I focus next on my room, this is surely going to unearth some little treasures. And it did. I just can't remember what year Susanna thought this was. Susanna, can you write in the comments? Susanna's really up on the fabrics. She really knows old fabrics. If you could jot down in the comments what era you think these little Suffolk puffs are, it'd be quite interesting. I think I remember what you said to me on the phone, but I'm just not 100% sure. So now it's about finding a little spot for our Suffolk puff. I did sort of like it backed onto this corner here. Just merged in there. I think I'm going to pin that there. How beautiful. It smells nice too, so it smells like it's been laundered, which is good. Yeah, that'll work nicely there. It's got those browns and the creams, and beautiful. Okay, so that's a Suffolk puff. Now that can go to one side. I just want to explore some of these. Now, I've got a couple here that I've made that are really good colours. And they're from fabrics that have a few memories. So I think there's a check. There's only the one check. That's 3. So I'm going to put these on as well. Just finding a spot. Like them up that seam. Sort of carries that lineal look. If I come up with a better idea, I can always move them. But for now, I'm going to just pin those there. Now, Honey Bear has 2 pockets here, and I haven't really explored what would be in Honey Bear's pockets. So this is where Judy's piece inspired me. I found a piece of quilt too that I want to stitch on. Like for Honey Bear, she would have a piece of quilt. Old quilt, where would we put a little piece of that? Or do we save it for the next prompt? What have we got? 3 to go. I might pop that in. I might pop that in her pocket because I just went to cut that little piece off to stitch here. And then I thought, hang on a minute, we've got 3 prompts to go. Maybe this is the base of something that then can be added. So let's put that in Honey Bear's pocket. But I really like how it's all faded and, yeah, well loved, hand stitched. So, and a scrap. Let's pop that in her pocket. Okay, now pockets. Now what I found, oh, I found that too. I used a piece of this on the Christmas Roxy Creations, the blue one. And I really felt like that had potential on Honey Bear. I'm just looking, see we've got this little distance here. Another little trim. How much have we got of it? I picked it up at an op shop and I couldn't believe it when I found it. I thought, what a gem. I'm thinking I would have enough to stitch some beads on the back of Honey Bear's dress. So that's what I'm thinking about for there. Not convinced yet, but some little beads hanging off her. Or we put a little morsel of beads somewhere on her dress. You know, just a little, they sort of lost a bit on that hemline. That's definitely going on the dress. I just can't decide where yet. So I'm going to repin it. And I'm going to pop it in her pocket with that quilt. And we still have a little doily in there as well. So we'll see what the next 3 prompts are. We'll keep this pocket open. Now, I noticed Judy had a ring of buttons on her piece. And I thought, oh yeah, of course, some old haberdashery items. Then these popped up in my random stash. They'd actually fallen behind that table over there. Oh look, there's wadding in there. Why would there be wadding in there? Goodness me, Grandma, what have you stuck in here? It's like treasures everywhere. Nothing. What's in there? Nothing. She's just put a piece of wadding in there. Goodness me. Well, we'll put it back in there. It must have been rolling around her sewing table and she's just, you know, popped it back in there. How cute. So I've got these guys. I found then just things that were randomly in our colour tones. I found these little flowers. I've got this ribbon. I was given a Chanel No. 5 perfume years ago, and I turned the little box into a journal, and then the ribbon that was around that box I used in the journal, but I've still got this little piece. And I thought, well, Honey Bear would definitely have a piece of Chanel ribbon, very classy. I found that again, and I do believe the bunny's eyes are that. I found some pom-pom trim, and I found some rickrack, some vintage rickrack, and some blue ribbon. So I thought about making a dangle, and some little beads. So I'm sort of getting back to what I used to do on the spines of journals, making a cluster of treasures to hang. There's a piece of cream ribbon and just a little one, and pinning it on the side of her pocket somewhere. Where's the camera? Just pinning it on the side, a little dangle. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. As for this cotton reel, I've glued the thread already on there in anticipation, and I'm thinking if I can get, here comes Fudge. Oh, he's so clingy. We're thinking about taking Fudge with us on the next trip up to Burrum. He's, I don't know, since Casper's departed, he's become such a clingy, gorgeous, gentle, smoochy pussycat. When Casper was around, he was quite aggravated. They'd often have a little dust up, just constantly watching each other and, I don't know, just being male cats. But now Casper's passed, there's all this sweetness coming out of young Fudge, 17-year-old Fudge. So we've noticed that when we go away for the 3 days, we're sort of doing 3 days at Burrum, 4 days, those scissors are no good, 4 days in Brisbane. Just to repack, reload, check the house. And I've got Chelsea, our Marianne's daughter. She's also our store manager at one of our stores. She's our goddaughter. She is my house sitter. She's been doing that since she was 15. She's, what, 23 now. So, a bit extra pocket money. Anyway, Chelsea is, you know, busy. So she's only really just feeding the animals, and they get a cuddle morning and night. And, of course, my husband and I, we work from home most of the year. So I guess Fudgy in particular, the dogs seem okay. They've got each other. As soon as I feed them, they're off. I just cannot get a needle to go through. Just bear with me. I'm just sizing up needles here. I've got a bead that I want to terminate the end of this with. So I've just got to find the right needle to get the ribbon into. So, yeah, what was I saying? Fudgy has become very smoochy, and I don't know, I feel a lot of guilt that I'm leaving him for the, 3 days, or sometimes 4 if something happens and we have to extend by an extra day. So this next trip, now you're watching this Saturday, Monday we head up again, and we've got a big 10-day stint there. And because we're concreting driveways and, retainer walls, etc., etc. So I said to my husband, I think we'll take Fudge with. He travels quite well. Well, as well as a cat can travel. But I can set him up in a room there where he can have his bed and his toilet, and then he's with us all day. And technically, I don't have a lot to do up there now, because once I unpack my boxes, which literally happen in the first 2 hours of arriving, As you can imagine, I'm just straight into it. I then have a bit of time on my hand because all the work's being done outside by these trades, especially the next 2 weeks. There's not a lot that I can really assist with. Just not having much luck here, but I'm getting there. So I thought I'm going to take Fudge. I've bought him a new bed for Barham and it's already up there. I just need to pick up a cat stand, just a small one. He's got a big one here in Brisbane and it's really built for 2 cats. So I think I'll pick up a cat stand today. It's Friday for me. I think I started the video on Thursday. Second half is Friday. And you guys are watching it Saturday. So the plan is to get Fudgy a cat stand, move him into the studio, which is right next to our lounge room. So he's got his bunk and he can sit with me, and I'm taking some projects with, so I'll have a good 2 weeks of stitching and just sort of watching the trades do their thing. So yeah, that's the plan. Fudgy's coming to Barham for a little holiday. Just need him close. So all I'm doing is sort of catching a little bit of a snippet of all of these little bits. Got the cotton reel on there with a bead and a knot to secure it. Got a bit of Chanel, a little bit of blue. Now I just need to check. I picked out a garment pin. That's one of those little guys. And then I found a little safety pin, which I think will be too small. Then I found that. I thought maybe that's got potential to connect it to. So I don't know. I just don't know. Oh, I found this butterfly as well. I thought I can either stitch it on, which I'm tending towards. Yeah, I think I'll stitch that on somewhere. I need a little bit of blue ribbon. A little bit. Do we do a bow? Just thinking. That would finish it nicely. Gee, that's pretty. Oh, hang on. It's bias binding. Look. Well, that's not going to make a very good bow. It's all going to come apart. Oh, I didn't realise that. I thought it was just satin ribbon. Okay. Oh, yeah, it does say binding on it. Good one, Corinne. That was in a pack at an op shop, and I just picked it up thinking blue ribbon. That would be nice. Oh, that's handy. Does anything need binding on her little dress? I've got 2 of those plus a white one, so we won't be using that. All right. Let's get this garment pin starting to gather these pieces. Put that at the back. Where's this blunt garment pin? Goodness me. Oh, now we need to actually go from the front, don't we? Because it needs to attach to her little dress through. So let's stack it from the front. Do we want anything else? I like this rickrack. That's got a lot of childhood memories for me. I used to have a little pile of rickrack in a bottle when I was a kid. Don't know why, just picked it up. Seemed to be going on to a lot of our clothes back in the 70s. So as a little girl, I'd often have rick-rack scraps after Mum would make us something, little gingham tops, you know, the ones that cover your chest but then tie at the back, little straps. It was quite hot and where I grew up, so rick-rack was often the trimming on the little gingham dresses. There's a memory. So I'm thinking I might do a knot. This little honey bear, she's been collecting bits again. Then I can go into that knot. There we go. There's her little bits. Now, do we need a piece of this as well? Let's see what it looks like. Got to have a bit of bling. If it'll go on. Yes, it does. That's good. So I've used all that. Haven't used the pom-pom trim. Better have some pom-pom trim. Honey Bear would definitely have pom-pom trim. Just a little piece. I'll keep these bits and bobs close too, because all of it could also go on her dress, depending on what the future prompts were. We could certainly, oh, look at that for little morsels of yumminess. Okay, so, I should take my glasses off to see detail, and I have to put them on just to put the rick-rack. Forget it. Be here all day. Come on, girl. Get your bits together. This little safety pin, I wonder what we could do with this in the way of maybe hanging these few little beady things from it. Just some little beads for Honey Bear. Don't think I'll need that at this stage. Put that away. Okay, where's her little dress? So what I'm thinking is this little dangly morsel we attach to the top of her pocket, like that. There we go. Love it. Just some little treasures that Honey Bear's collected. I need to restack that. I don't like the fact that this pretty bead thing, sorry guys, I have to undo it. It's not right. I want the beads, this trim, the sparkle trim, to be the first thing we see. It was the last thing I put on, so, oh, come on. Okay, then I liked the flowers, then the rick-rack, then the Chanel ribbon. She's a flash little bear. Then the pom-poms, and then the vintage sewing reel, and then onto her little dress, onto her pocket. So a cluster of things found as I pack up my room to move house. Oh, I love it. That's going to be a memory now for me because of what's happening in my life at the moment. All right, Honey Bear, there's some little beady bits here. And those beads just matched beautifully, so we might just find a little spot to pin those to Don't know how well they're going to stay on there. I think I need to crimp things here a little bit better. Let's get that closed. Otherwise, she's going to lose them as fast as I put them on. Not a fan of jewellery making, let me say. I've tried it. You know, when you're on a holiday somewhere and you see a jewellery making class in the local town, so you all toddle along and have a play. I don't know. It's not my thing. I always make it and I never wear it. I don't wear a lot of jewellery. And I find it quite fiddly, frustratingly fiddly. So there's a little cluster. I might just pin that under her little bumblebee. That will do. What's the other pocket corner? Oh no, let's pin it over here on this corner. Little honey bear beads. There we go. Her pockets have been embellished. Love it. Okay. What else did I find? Oh, the butterfly. Let's find a spot for the butterfly. Yeah, there. The dark fabric underneath looks good. Oh. No, it's a bit lost. She's got a bit of a butterfly theme happening here. My favourite things. Let's put it there. All right, so there you go. We have a plan. So now it's just a case of stitch on these few bits and pieces. There's a thread already in that needle. Save that piece. Might get the butterfly stitched on. So yeah, that's the latest news from me. As you probably noticed, the Roxy Stitchery videos are very up to date. So you're getting more of the latest shenanigans. And then all those other project ones, I'm sort of trying to stay ahead a little bit. I'm probably 2 weeks out with all of those. You probably noticed that we've just started the Sewing Caddy pattern of Jennifer Clouston's. And yesterday I filmed it on my desk. Well, you saw that in this video, of course. So I think there's 3 videos for that series. So that will roll out over the next couple of weeks. I'm still stitching my Stitch the Seasons. I'm really advanced in that. You probably noticed that too when you saw the piece. I think I've got one more episode and that's spring done, and that's that final flower at the top of that piece. So I'm looking forward to that because there's so much work just in the flower and it's just yummy. I really enjoyed the first flower on that piece. So that will go with me and I'll film and stitch that, and then I can kick into summer. What else are you guys watching? Oh, I've got my little snippet stitchery project trundling along as well. And, oh, that's just so good. Create a background, stitch some stitches inspired by either Jennifer's videos that she's putting out or her books. And then I've got my little journal. That stitch is a big stitch. We can do better than that. I don't like that. So then the page that I've stitched goes into my little journal. So that's a good one because, gosh, there's probably 12, 13, 14 videos just in that series. So that'll trundle along. So plenty to do. Most of it's pretty mobile. Today I plan on packing up those projects into a complete set that everything I need is with me. So whatever house I'm at, that's it. It's with me and I can just, you know, film. So that's the plan. I am here for a couple more days yet, 2 more days. So I'll probably film the Journal Roxy treasure hunt. And we'll put those laces in that journal, I think. Can't go too crazy yet because we still have 3 prompts. I didn't add any buttons to the journal, but I have got a bit of an idea of making some swatches with buttons on them. Smaller little add-in pieces for the journal. Maybe, oh, I know, tabs to turn the pages could have buttons on them. Yes, there you go. Got an idea. It's just having a moment to stop and think of an idea is half my problem. But it happens. It just comes along. All right, so that's the little charm, the butterfly charm added. I might change my thread to a blue. I'm just going to jump up, guys, and there's a blue reel of cotton that I'm going to grab. And we'll use this to stitch down the yo-yos. Those yo-yos are quite open. They're not really closed, so I might be able to pop some pearls in there, I'm thinking, just to embellish them. Or a button. Button would be cute. I left all my buttons out. I haven't packed those because I just, it's, you know, can't be packing away your buttons. Mind you, it's not too much of an issue. Like I said, I'll unpack everything the moment it gets there so that, you know, within a week I'll be back at the room and grab something if it's not with me here in Brisbane. So I think it'll work out. I'm not too worried. As long as I have the main projects that we're trundling through packed separately and mobile. So I'm going to have a mini craft table travelling. I need a table up at Burrum too. It was funny yesterday. We had to get some lads from across the street to help us lift the buffet that's going into my craft room. Got this big white buffet. It's like a library. So the bottom is storage. I've wanted one for years. I've been using pieces of old bedroom furniture for years. You've noticed it in this room. And I said to my husband, I really, really want to get one of those buffets that is, the bottom part is cupboards and drawers, and then the top part is open shelving like a library. And I've been looking at them for some time, and then the one I really liked, it's huge, it's 3 meters long, which is the width of that painted wall in my studio. You'll know already what I'm talking about because I've shown you in the video just before this. Anyway, I've been looking at them and looking at them, and lo and behold, they went to 50% off around June last year. Not last year. Yeah, no, this year. So I said to my husband, they're 50% off. That's a huge saving because they're blooming expensive for rubbish timber covered in white paint. Anyway, so, yep, grab it. The thing is, the house wasn't finished. It was supposed to be finished, but it didn't get finished. So the buffet ended up coming to home here, and it's been sitting in the garage in its big boxes, and they are heavy. The first box, the bottom, is 154 kilo. I know because we read it on the box yesterday, and it is heavy. So we've called in the lads from across the road, and they're strapping young fellas. They actually work for us as well at the Christmas Shack. They've been great kids. They're the neighbours' kids, the 2 boys. The first one joined our team 3 years ago, and then his younger brother joined, and now the older one, he's sort of gone off and got a part-time job, plus uni's getting pretty full on, so we only really see him work around our busy period. But the younger lad, he's been helping pretty much through the year whenever Chelsea has a shipping container or needs someone to hang a decorated item in the ceiling, you know, all those types of tasks where you need a lad and a ladder. So Ev's been our boy this year, but they're getting really busy with uni and social lives and other part-time jobs, and so we only get them every so often. But anyway, they're across the road and they came over to help Gaz and I lift this buffet, and oh my goodness, but I had a genius idea. I remember seeing some removalists put a strap around a fridge either side of it, and then the strap went up over their shoulder and they literally lifted the fridge and walked it into this house that had stairs. And it just remembered it, just filed it away under miscellaneous. I don't need to knot that because I'm just going to the next yo-yo, aren't I? So I said to the boys, I know we've got to lift up one end of this big long box. It's probably about 1,200 high and, you know, 3.2 metres long because I measured it. I was worried it wouldn't fit in our van. Anyway, we ended up putting a rope around the bottom, the one end of it, and with the lads either side, Gaz in the van to support it and guide it, and me at the other end pushing, it just went up like so easy. Really, really good. So into the van it went. I've been packing so I can fill the rest of the space with more boxes, and I really need some form of table up there. This table I'm working on, it will go March next year probably. There's no plans to take it immediately because, you know, we've got to have some furniture in the house. So I've got a very high bar / picnic table. It's in the shed from the previous house. It was sitting on the veranda at the last place, and metal chairs, 6 of them. It's long and narrow, but you're very high. And I had thought of putting that in, and that would be my craft table up there until this one arrived. But I had another look at it, and I think the arm for the iPad that I film won't make it. There's no extension here, so that'd be all out of whack. And they're metal chairs. They are mean. They're hard to move because you're off the ground, you know, the bar stool type thing. So I decided, no, it can stay in the garage till whenever we move it up. And I'm just going to have a trestle table. So there's one of those folded up in the shed. So that's going in, and that will be my craft table. At least it has a bit of space on it. It's just one of those plastic mould trestle tables. Can you hear fudge? Yeah, so that's going in the van. So today's task will be just pack some more boxes, put them in the van until we have a load. So, and I think this will be the last load personally. I think we've got enough up there. I need some things in Brisbane to live as well. So that'll be good because then we can just travel in our normal car and not trundle up in this work van of ours. It's good for the driver. They get like a seat that's got not suction, springs, you know, suspension under it. So Gaz bounces over all the bumps and looks like a truckie as he drives, you know. And I'm sitting on a mean, hard bench. Every bump goes through my spine. And by the time I get, you know, within an hour of the place, because it's about a 4-hour drive if you stop for half an hour, halfway, my back is just killing me. And I'm leaning forward onto the dash to try and stretch my spine out and to reduce the impact of the bumps. So I'll be bloomin' pleased when this is the last van trip. So I said to Gaz, no more furniture, that's it. If I've got enough up there to survive, will get us through Christmas, New Year's. We can always put the odd box in the back of the car. But the van, that's it. It's just a rough, I've lost my thread. It's a rough ride. Well, that's the latest. You can see the video, the photos showing the severed sewer pipe. It's the clear water, clean water after it's gone through the treatment tanks, and it travels through this little purple pipe. That got severed by the digger as we were digging in the electrical cable to the front boundary of the property. So that's what those photos are about. I'm pretty sure I spoke about this already in the video. Can't remember what I said yesterday. Yeah, so that's about all the news. I have a puppy video for you for Monday. It's only a little one. We dropped in briefly to Sue and Days to cuddle the puppies, and I had borrowed a shovel, a step ladder, what was the other thing, and a furniture moving trolley. So we returned Dave's bits and bobs. The rental charge was going to start kicking in. We said we can't afford your rental charge. It's a bit of a joke. So we returned his assets. I needed the stepladder to clean the top shelves in all the cupboards. We needed the furniture trolley just in case something was really heavy, but we didn't end up using it. And the shovel we used to dig this pipeline in for the electrical cable around the house footings because you can't get the backhoe in that close. So that's what we use those bits for. But Gaz is packing some more tools this trip, so we'll pretty much have everything we need now. Just got us out of trouble. Saved going to Bunnings to buy a shovel. It's good to have mates already up there. So there is a puppy video. It's not very long because we didn't have much time. We sort of dropped those things back, said hello, quick film of the puppies, and then took off because a tradesman rang and said, I'll be at your house in 10 minutes. And we're like, oh no. We're in Hervey Bay, which is half an hour away. So we had to fly. So I only got a little puppy video for you, but gee, cute overload. And I'll be back there this week, of course, and it's very exciting. On Wednesday, we take all the puppies to the vet to have a vet check and to get their microchip. So that's the next stage of their journey. And I'll be there to assist Sue to wrangle them in and out of their carry cage and get them into the cubicle for the vet check. And being 9 puppies, oh, it's going to be fun. So that's next week's task. And you'll see some video footage, I'm sure, of all of that shenanigans. So they're getting big. And I think we're going to try and take some nice photos of them and put them into an advertisement. Oh, so sad. And see, we've got quite a few nibbles. Let me say, there is friends of friends of friends who know Australian Shepherds, and I'm absolutely rapt. It'd be just fantastic to have them go to people that know the breed and are connected to me, so then we can see the growth of these babies, and they are within our inner circle. So that's all very exciting. So yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm just going to go now dig out some pearls to go in there, and then I'll finish stitching on this, and that's the prompt done. We will save that for next video or prompt, and I think the next video will be a journal with all the lacy bits going into it. So okay, excellent. Well, look after yourselves, and I'll catch you probably next Saturday with more of an update of how my week was. Otherwise, pre-recorded videos ready for you as we move through some of those projects. All right, guys, look after yourselves. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.